Hello. Okay, so I have just finished watching BBC's Merlin. I've never seen it before in my life. This is the first time I've watched it. I started watching it a couple of months ago with my best friend, and literally bare minutes ago, finished watching the two-part finale, the five-season culmination of Merlin, and I just I don't know why I'm so invested in it for a start, but I am annoyed. Like, okay, I really detest it when shows build something up and then completely fall flat on the finale. Like, I put a lot of heart into a good finale. I am big on my big finales. And I it's the same thing with the Musketeers. Um, the Musketeers was one of my favorite BBC historical dramas. You know, consistently year after year had good series like season finales, and then the last season, like the penultimate episode, had such a good ending, had such good stakes, like was full of emotional pathos, which is what I love about the Musketeers. And then the financial finale episode was just like, yeah, and then this stuff happens. I hate finales, which is just, and yeah, this stuff happens. Um, Especially when it peaks like in the first 5-10 minutes of the episode. It was the same with Warehouse 13. Warehouse 13 was such a beautiful, like, Warehouse 13 was such a beautiful, pure, emotional, and like heartfelt show where you were so invested in the characters and their connection with each other and the adventures to go through, and when like it had some such brilliant moments when there was actually sad moments in the series. And the final episode, and that was the final episode was a clip show, but it wasn't even a clip show because the clips they made were new. But the problem with that, it was expected to have emotional connection with events we only just seen the first time, which were meant, and it was just no plot. There was only one good part episode, and it was like you've had like what was it, 5 or 6 seasons of Warehouse 13, and then you build all this emotional kind of bond, and then you break, and you just don't pay it off. So anyway, Merlin, because I need to finish ranting about this in enough time for me to then publish my vlog every day, the coronavirus videos, which you can see on my main channel. Like Merlin, unlike Warehouse 13 and unlike Musketeers, which as fantastic shows they were, didn't have really a single overruling thread. Very very much a season by season thing. The arcs were contained per season. In Merlin, there is a consistent build-up. The whole point of Merlin is the build-up to Albion, to Arthur, bringing together the kingdoms. This is what we're building towards. This is the whole emotional driving point of the main character. Every sacrifice he makes, every hard decision he makes, every time he's belittled, every time he's unthanked, every time he goes above and beyond, is because we're given this whole promise of Albion. That is the emotional driving force, okay? That is what we're completely and utterly building towards for 5 seasons. And look, okay, I'm raging now. I can only imagine how bad this must be for people who actually watch this live on TV. For what I think, what was it? It was 2008 to 2013 or something like that. 2008, 2012, or 7 to 12 or something like that. I can't imagine going through that much of an investment in a show and then this being the freaking finale. I've been with the show for like a few months and I'm pissed off. I'm getting gassy now because I'm raging so much and just eating a burger. Like the problem was across the both two-parters, okay? Like, you had the last episode was like, oh, we're gonna take we're gonna take Merlin's magic away to create a drama, and I'm like, okay, that's decent drama. He's never been without his magic. I mean, there's been consistently times throughout the series where he could do something without any consequences, but still does not because of, I guess, idiot ball. This show is plagued by the idiot ball trope, which is what's probably the most annoying thing. But like, it's just like put the dragon, for God's sake. After the end of the first season, I think it is, he becomes a master. Well, he becomes a dragon lord. The dragon is completely under his control. Dragon has to do his every word and bidding. You have a dragon who's your command, which is established to be an unstoppable force. You're able to control the dragon, and there's absolutely no way to tie it back to you. How does that not solve half your problems? It solves like literally most of your problems. Oh, you're facing an unbeatable enemy. Well, the dragon's established to be pretty powerful. Why not go? And there's no restrictions. It's not as if there's any penalties from abusing his power. Given how little Merlin's got to go with to fulfill his destiny, I think that's pretty much something I would keep it going back to using if I could. There's no like, oh, you could call it once a day, or it causes immense personal exhaustion or trauma to yourself by doing so. But yeah, that's beside the point. That is beside the point. Like. So yeah, back to the first of the two-parter, which is called The Diamond in some nonsense title episode, as if that had any emotional ramifications. Like, the Sword of Stone for the last season finale had more emotional or lore reference than that. I mean, maybe this is a lore reference. That's just going over my head, whatever. But anyway, his power is taken away from him, and like you can already predict the formula, because look, this show is pretty formulaic in most respects. I think it's like only 2 or 3 times it goes against what I expected it to go by. And even then, it doesn't really execute very well. But also, I'm like, okay, well, obviously Merlin's gonna have to go through his own personal trauma. Everything's gonna seem dire, and just at the last moment, Merlin succeeds, gets his power back, saves the day. Clearly, that's gonna be what's gonna happen, right? Right? That doesn't even happen. He doesn't even go through any trauma. He goes to the cave. He gets knocked out like a weakling because apparently every time he sees Morgana, he completely and utterly forgets that he has more powerful magic. Okay, I'll get into that in a second. But like even in that moment, all he does is he swipes with a sword. And he actually hits her. I guess later on it establishes that no mortal blade can hurt her, but that's beside the point. And he stands there holding a sword at her as if he has any reason to hold back at that point and not go on and actually, stab her again for a start, because she's always armed and dangerous. But no, he doesn't use any of his powerful magic. It's the best moment in the show, by far, is when he just flat kills Lord Arendelle, whatever the hell his name was, because that's him like being like, yeah, I can just nerf you guys, and I'm gonna, because I have the power to do so, and there's no reason for me to stop. And there never is any reason to stop. There's no reason Morgana knows who he is. Just kill her. That was always the goal. But yeah, he gets knocked out, and then his father quotes in order, I think, Star Trek, Star Wars, and then just gives a whole bunch of Superman vibes. Being like he just speaks in a really annoying deep voice, like he's Russell Crowe or something. He basically was this Russell Crowe light. And then Merlin wakes up and is like, yeah, I got my power now. And just walks off disguised as Emrys for some reason. I mean, apparently he disguises himself as Emrys, but then reveals himself literally in the next scene. We see him into Alpha as who it is. So I don't know what the disguise was for. Narratively, it made no sense because he never sees any of them ever again. So, whatever. Completely nerfs the battlefield. And then rather than continue to watch over Arthur from his clear vantage point, wanders off. Like, I mean, he clearly has an line of sight on Arthur. That's what I got from this, because he was blasting the enemies both sides of Arthur quite directly. So clearly he was protecting Arthur. But he walks away to go to Arthur, but obviously he has to walk away to come back to him. And then in that moment, Arthur is killed. Why did he stay up there? I just don't understand. I guess Arthur does run off, but still, he's still at a clear vantage point. I don't know why he didn't tell the smaller dragon to go and just kill more enemies. I don't know what happened to Small Dragon, by the way. Small Dragon just disappeared off the plot. We'll never know because the series ended. Like, loose ends are a thing you need to wrap up. Yeah, and then Arthur gets stabbed. And then, Merlin drags him off for reasons, which I still don't clearly understand, where you can just stick it back to the... I mean, if you're going to reveal this up to the king, you might as well reveal this up to everyone else, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, the only place to possibly save. It's like, oh, the power of the sword's very powerful. It's probably beyond you, Merlin. The only person is probably the power of the dragons that need to save this. There's only more people who can save them. Probably forgetting the dragon is a thing, and he never points he asked the dragon to try. The dragon clearly has restorative powers. I don't know why he didn't attempt that first, or even postulate it. I mean, for God's sake. Then he drags him off with a small, also ultimately pointless side thing where they trick one of Morgana's spies into tricking Morgana that Arthur's going the opposite direction, and then Grain and Percival are like, yeah, let's us two, who've consistently been knocked over by sorcerers like literally every single time, you know, go and try and kill Morgana ourselves, as if that has ever worked. And yeah, not only does Grain get killed, he then reveals actually where Arthur's going, so actually ends up betraying Arthur. And I'd probably have more of an emotional reaction to him dying if it wasn't like utterly stupidity in his point to go in the first place, or at least go without taking like a whole bunch of people. Like you need at least an army to kill her. Come on. Although, I mean, maybe they were like her to have an idiot ball moment because everyone passes the idiot ball at some time or another. And then Percival actually does get a stab on her, and then just like stand and look at her like she's not dead. Just keep stabbing her until she's not. Behead her. Like, why are you doing the bare minimum when you're killing one of the most powerful witches that you have faced? And then Morgana has to then go ride towards Arthur and somehow catches up, even though she's in the complete opposite direction, and Arthur's already got a couple of days head start, yet somehow catches up. And magic clearly isn't a thing here, otherwise this would have solved so many previous things. Also, this random scene where Percival's like tracking footsteps or something, and that never gets explained. I don't know what the point of that was. Maybe if you cut that scene, we could have more. Maybe if you cut a side plot, we had to have more ending. And Morgana turns up, blasts them all to the floor. He's like, ha, you're gonna die. And just gets stabbed. There's absolutely no point for half an episode. She turned up and contributed nothing. And then she was stabbed. All that happened was she was stabbed. Was this the dramatic build-up for 5 seasons? Like, I get this show isn't really big on flashy magic. That's cool. But you could have had some sort of, like, Merlin vs. Morgana payoff. Like, at least the same level of, like, Sauron versus Gandalf versus Saruman kind of Lord of the Rings payoff. Something, some kind of battle. He just walked up and was like, yeah, lol, stab, you're dead. I mean, I guess it was a magic sword, but still, it wasn't dramatic. And then it was like, oh, I can't drag Arthur anymore, he's too late. Let's call the dragon now rather than at any other point. Just establish the dragon is pretty much a free ride. You could have ridden him from where you found him. Why are you taking horses in the first place? To the place, and then the dragon's like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. And I guess Merlin was like, yeah, I guess there's nothing I can do. I mean, if the dragon knew that already, I don't know why he bothered taking him there in the first place. And I don't know why he didn't bother taking him the entire way. It doesn't make sense. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to give you some sort of... I'm going to push you on a boat towards the island. Then we cut to Camelot, apparently deciding Arthur's dead. I mean, I guess we don't actually know how long's passed from when he's dead. It could be in a couple of months, so I guess that's fair enough. And then we cut to a scene of the castle, and when the truck comes past, so yeah, it's modern day. Then we see Merlin in his Emerald disguise in like a fisherman's outfit walk past, and that's it. What does that mean? I mean, literally, what does it mean? Like, okay, he's still clear guardian of the area. Is he until Arthur's ready to rise? But that's not the payoff we were promised. We never got to see like Merlin be free as a magic user. I mean, he's still in disguise. So are we assuming that they never outlawed magic? Like, did that happen? Was magic outlawed? I mean, the implication was that this is meant to be like our world now, but but go back. If you know, I mean, did Gwen outlaw magic? Would Gwen ever do that? Was there no political struggle over Gwen taking command and then immediately letting you? Like, at what point we never even saw Arthur build Albion where magic is allowed. We never got to solve that. Did that even happen? Was there any confirmation that happened? All we got was Alpha's acceptance that magic is fine, but there was no his whole kind of just acceptance of magic was just like page by books or by the numbers or whatever the freaking phrase is. Like there was no payoff for 5 years worth of dialogue. That's it. I'm done. I could probably go on ranting this again and again, but I've got 20 minutes to get my vlog out, which is pretty much just a condensed version of this. And it's just mainly just screaming at a screen. I'm probably going to read a couple of blogs and see who else pissed off back in 2000 and whenever the show ended. There must be some people. God, this show, man, had some good points and it was just full of idiot ball, but at least it had charm. At least there was charm in it. At least, like, I was watching it for the promise of some payoff between the characters that, because whenever it had the nice heart-to-heart moments of, like, trust and, like, communication and all that, I'm like, yes, good, I agree with all this. And I was still looking forward to when we were going to see Merlin be able to tell everything will be fine. Like, it doesn't have to be a happy ending, but at least give me some emotional payoff. Okay, thank you. I'm Haaris. I'm just done. Where's my pleasant outro, please?